What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and this is my FN503. This has been one of my most carried firearms over the last 3 years, and to be honest, it shows. Let's take a good look at this thing. Whenever I make videos about it, I get people that say, oh, your firearm looks like crap. Oh, your firearm is beat to crap. I'm sorry, I don't swear on this channel, but it is. I'm not gonna lie. But they make it out to seem like it's a bad thing. They're like, oh, it's rusting. No, that's not rust. That's just gunk buildup from pocket carry, because I really do carry every single day, 24/7. As you can see, it is beat up. I mean, this thing has been through a lot. I dropped it on the concrete while training, and no, it did not go off. But I dropped it, and I felt terrible at the moment. And then I picked it up, and I realized, you know what? I can make this thing into my everyday carry that just gets beat to crap, but it still runs. And that's what I love about the FN503. And what we're going to talk about is the trigger on it. Is the trigger that good? Because when this thing got released, FN was saying, oh, we have a metal trigger on our firearm, and it's a great trigger. Now, I will say this. I'm not a trigger snob. I'm perfectly fine shooting Glock stock triggers. As long as it's not an absolutely terrible trigger, I don't have a problem with it. Now, one thing you need to take in consideration, the FN503, this sits in my pocket. Pocket carry when you're sweating. I do new construction plumbing, so I'm always moving, lifting, cutting, drilling, and so on. You sweat. And even in the summer, I did undergrounds at 100 degrees, digging out undergrounds by hand with a shovel, and obviously finishing the plumbing for the undergrounds. The sweat and the amount of moisture that was on this firearm during those moments, those 10 hours I was working, is unbelievable, and you don't see one speck of rust. This thing sits in my pocket where I sweat. When I pull it out, it has like little sweat marks on it. You can tell that it's been moist. It's been wet. Nothing. The finish is held up so well, considering that it just sits in my pocket and rubs against stuff all day long. Now, what I love about this isn't the trigger. The trigger is not that great, to be honest. I love the reliability. I love what I've put it through, and it still has ran for over 3,000 rounds without a single malfunction. And yes, I need to put some more lube on this. This is getting a little dry, but that's what comes with pocket carry, and that's what I mean. So I always tell this story, and then we're going to get into the trigger. I always tell this story. So my aunt has a Christmas tree farm with plenty of acres, so I go shooting there. And when I brought this, I left straight from work, and this thing was gunked up. I think I went 2 or 3 weeks without cleaning it. It was an absolute mess, absolute disaster. It gets gunked up. Now, I didn't clean it, didn't do anything. I just took it and started shooting. I watched sawdust. I watched lint. I watched little shavings fall out. I watched dang near anything that I work with in the field came out of this firearm. And guess what? It ran 100%. Ran reliable, threw a couple hundred rounds that day, and I was just amazed with the FN503. I knew that I could truly carry and trust this firearm. Now, obviously, I cleaned it after, and I keep up to date with cleaning it, but that was just a really good test for me to know that I can trust my everyday carry firearm, regardless of the conditions it's been put through at that moment. Because you never know. Maybe I'm a week into pocket carry, didn't clean it at all since then, and I have to use this in a self-defense encounter, God forbid, but it's there for me. That's what everyday carry is about, is having that reliable firearm. Doesn't matter what firearm it is, doesn't matter the capacity, but it's about that trust you have for that firearm. Now, let's show the trigger. Clear as always. My firearms are always safety checked prior to the videos. Got a visual, and I stuck my pinky in there earlier just to make sure. Let's talk about this trigger. Ready? It's not, I'm just going to warn you now, it's not a good trigger, but it's perfect for pocket carry. It's truly perfect for an active lifestyle, because like me, I always keep around in the chamber. No matter what, doesn't matter what firearm it is, there's going to be around in the chamber. And with this firearm right here, the longer trigger pull, it's not heavy at all. It's actually a pretty light trigger pull, but it's long. That is perfect for me in pocket carry. That is perfect for what I need. That is perfect for being active. So here we go. Ready? So it's not the longest trigger, but it's, you know, longer than most people like. Now, reset is where people have a problem. Let's do that again so you can see. It's a very light trigger, though. It's not. It's probably. It feels like 4 pounds, to be honest. 4.5 pounds. But it is that longer trigger pull. But I don't see that as a bad thing for pocket carry. And I have videos of me up shooting it, and you can see that I can let shots off with this very fast. Once again, it always comes back to training with your carry firearm. Training with it, getting used to the trigger. It doesn't matter what kind of trigger it is. It could be the worst trigger in the world. You just got to train with it and get good with it. And you guys got to think for a second. You know, I have a SIG P365X, an X Macro, a regular. They all have great, amazing triggers. I have a CZ P10S, amazing trigger. The Shield Plus, amazing trigger. I have the Hellcat. I have the Glock 43X, which has a good trigger on it. I have a Wheaton Arms trigger on one of my Glocks, which is an amazing trigger. I have like 3 Apex triggers on my Glocks, amazing triggers. But yet, I still pocket carry this every single day, or 5 days a week during my work week. You got to think about that for a second. Out of 51 handguns that I have, I carry my FN503 the most during those 5 days. That's pretty unbelievable. And regardless of that trigger, I feel completely confident with it and competent that it's going to be there for me and that I can shoot it accurately and fast as well. You just got to train with your firearm, get good with it, and you won't have any problems. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as always.